Hello. Yes, I'm trying to make something. Alright, yeah, I'm trying to get all my stuff situated. Uh, so, anyway. Uh, this is gonna be a deep dive into Unreal Engine. And I gotta see uh, if any of this stuff works. Thank you, Fel. Thank you. I appreciate your support, straight up. Uh, I'm. This is gonna be the plan. I'm going to use Unreal 5.4. I'm gonna use some of the newer tools, and I'm gonna just try to make like straight up like a top-down adventure game in the style of like a Zelda game. Uh, and I'm gonna try to do that from start to finish within this stream. It's gonna be very prototypey, so it's not gonna look great, but hopefully it functions the way I do. So I'm going to keep the microphone kind of muted most of the time, but I'll still try to respond. So anyway, here we go. We'll see what kind of mechanics I can kind of get away with. Uh, it'll probably be some enemies, maybe some roguelike stuff. We'll see. I can't promise anything. So let's get started. I already have. Oh, I'm going to make this free on my GitHub, by the way. It's gonna be like you can download the project. It's free. You can mod it. I'm gonna be using the assets that the assets that I choose are gonna be available for free. So you know you can do what you will. I'm gonna be using Bungie Man, which I think is either provided by Epic or someone else. But anyway, it's a free asset on the Unreal Marketplace, so you can feel free to download that. On my GitHub, by the way. It's gonna be like you can download the project. It's free. You can mod it. I'm gonna be using the assets that the assets. I've got all this stuff set to low, so we're not gonna be using the height of like graphical rendering here. I'm doing this on a laptop on a 1660, so yeah, we're gonna just do it like that so that I don't murder my rig while I'm streaming. And we're not gonna be using the height of like So this is the basic third-person template. I didn't use the top-down template because that's like a point and click. This is going to allow me to kind of maneuver the camera. We're gonna still use the directional input, WASD. You can also use the arrow keys. And I'm gonna make some adjustments here so that it kind of moves and looks the way that I need it to. So like to get that Zelda feel. It's gonna be very prototypey in the beginning, so there's gonna be no swinging weapons or shields. There's just gonna be mechanics in the beginning. So the first thing I need to get rid of is this camera input. I don't need to be able to look everywhere. I just need to be able to look downward at a specific angle and just kind of keep it there. That way, um, it doesn't interfere. There's probably an annoying ass echo. That's because there is my other stream that was playing. So apologies if there was an echo. So I like that position, but it is kind of far away. And I am, of course, doing this wrong right out the gate. What I should be doing is this. Just pull out the actor and lock it into place here, and then I can in real time kind of see what the camera sees. Maybe, I don't know, mess with the FOV a little bit. I want to make sure that I'm using nice round numbers. Power of 2, that's ultimately what Unreal likes. I should probably send out a stream notification to people to let them know I'm live, so we'll give me a second. I'm gonna send my invites out, I guess. Okay, I got my invites sent. That might be a little too close. Alright, I like that angle better. We're gonna work with that, and then if it doesn't work out, we'll readjust. Okay, so the idea of this is a 2D top down. I don't really need a jump, uh, and I'm going to try to design the level without one. And uh, honestly, jumping is a form of traversal that works in a certain type of game, like a platformer. For something like this, just navigating through a dungeon with like a maze-like element should be good enough. And like height mechanics, like differences in height, I can just kind of adjust manually, like on the fly. So like it would be like I would select a height for every single platform, and if you fall from one height to the other, I'll at least know how high the player is at any given time. So let's do that. So honestly, a lot of this is set up, and it's really just deleting actions that the template already had set up. So I've deleted the camera control, which rotates your controller, and I've deleted the jumping mechanic, the ability to the jump like input. So both of those are gone. I have adjusted the camera. This is kind of the optimal viewpoint I want. It's a bit of a perspective type of thing. So we're gonna work with this. So the next thing I want to do is, uh, since we're gonna have like a sword slash or like a sword hit, I want to basically introduce a damage component. That way, like whatever you do, like a sword swing, you're gonna like throw out a damage volume, and it's going to do damage generically. I'm not gonna do like body damage or whatever. It's just gonna do generic hitbox damage. Okay, I think this shape should be okay. Whenever you do like any kind of damage, it's just gonna spawn, and then once it overlaps, uh, then it's going to just do generic damage. Okay, so this is the kind of first challenge, right? So what we have to do is, because every actor in this scene can essentially do damage. The player can damage an enemy can damage the player. And I want to use this damage type to kind of be a generic damage type. But I gotta have a way to differentiate. Like, so if it spawns from the player toward the enemy, that it only hits the enemy and not the player. So, uh, I'm gonna see, I think the damage causer is gonna be a way that we determine this. So we'll see how I divide this up. I'm gonna kind of work through this a bit. You know what? I was gonna make damage a float, but uh, I'm gonna stick with an integer because just like hearts in Zelda, like they're like one by one. There's no like point .5 hearts or what. Well, there is, but like you know what I mean. There's like no .3846 hearts in Zelda, and I want to keep true to something like that. So I'm doing a little bit of debug here just to see what if it works on overlap. So okay, the damage component is working on the outset. Right now it'll hit anything it runs into, and that's fine. have to look into the 1 frame timer in a little bit, if that's applicable. think I got this right. I don't know what happened to my music, but hopefully it comes back. Okay, we have a little damage strike thingy. I can get rid of this. I'm done with that. So, got a bit of a problem with the damage thing. Once it spawns, it blocks me. It like I can run into it. It's like a solid object. So I'm gonna have to look into the collision and see what's causing that. It's probably the box collider. I just need to change the collision settings. So anyway, let me look into that. Yeah, that was it. So now new problem, which is the problem I was talking about earlier. It doesn't differentiate. Uh, it doesn't differentiate between like me or any other thing. It'll just generically take damage. So I'm going to have to break down when I spawn it. I'm gonna have to break down who owns that hit, and then once I do, it'll know the difference between me and an enemy. And the way we're gonna do enemies is gonna be uh, you're gonna like I'm gonna use the same kind of player thing that I'm using right now, but we're gonna set it up a little different. So okay, So I'm gonna make two child blueprints. One's gonna be for the player. One's gonna be for the enemy. I'm gonna exit out of that. Just gonna make a notepad here. Okay, so what ended up happening there was I made two child's blueprints from the third person character, one for the enemy, one for the player, for me. The player wasn't quite set up the way I wanted it to be, so uh, what happened was is it inherited the yaw pitch and roll of the camera like inherently, and when it did that, the camera would move wherever I was looking. So I had to uninherit it so that the camera just stays static. And that's what happened. But I've split the character into two child blueprints. Now they both have health. They both have everything that I established. Um, so now I can just work on one blueprint and both will get it. And then I can add different stuff to both of them. And yeah, so we're gonna just keep working from there. Okay, so it causes damage and it avoids the thing that sent it out. So hopefully this works. I'm about to test it out, and I'm gonna make a generic enemy class. All right, I did some print string math, and now we're gonna append a lot of this. It works, but at what cost? Let's see where he's going here. Strike damage, okay. Spawn damages. Where are we at? Damage instigator. Okay. Alright, we're gonna have to look into this and see where this error is coming from. It's causing an error in our third person character as well. So I'm thinking it's being called too early, so we'll see. So it turns out Unreal already has a solution to set an instigator. So this whole thing might be a little too much. And I probably don't need to do this. But actually, well, no. Still, no, that what I was thinking of won't work. But you know it, when you pay attention, when you actually look into what Unreal provides in the first place, uh, you actually get the thing you're looking for. I didn't need to make a function for this, uh, so I'm just gonna delete this, and I'm gonna pretend like this never happened. So a likely story, Heavy. A likely story. I see how you are. No, I'm doing well. Everything is going swimmingly. I'm doing damage. That's great. That's great. Materials. We don't have any effects. I was supposed to stream last month. Let's be real here. But that didn't happen, so you know, things happen. We we say things, and then they just don't happen. So, yeah. I'm gonna make. An effects folder, and by effects I mean I'm going to make something up that looks kind of okay, but in reality, you know, I would too, Heavy. I would too. I would love to be consistent in anything. That would be great. Um, we're making a top-down kind of adventure-style game in the vein of like a Zelda, and we're gonna see how far we get. We're gonna use some of the um, stuff that 5.4 has released. At least I don't know about this stream, but that's kind of the goal here. So hopefully I'll be able to keep this going and make a stream dedicated to that. Um, it shouldn't be too big of a project, if I'm being honest. Dead by nighttime. Yeah, something like that. Maybe. We're gonna make an instance of this, and we're gonna move it to So I've got the engine content because I just needed to borrow this material. No! That's not what I wanted. We're gonna delete that. We're gonna pretend like that never happened. Doing a lot of red color. I like red. That's like my thing. Judging by the amount that this is taking, this might be because I'm streaming at the moment. Who influenced me to want to make games? The PlayStation 1, believe it or not. That is the thing, the one console that inspired me to make video games. Because it could just do things that I was blown away by at the time. I don't know if you like, I'm such a game dev nerd. I don't know, like, you can find it on YouTube somewhere. There's like a PS1 demo that they had given out to their developers to showcase what the console could do, and it's got the infamous T-Rex demo. It's got, like, you know, the compressed video it can put out, the amount of triangles it can render, all that stuff. Oh, like, I eat that stuff up, man. Like, that, I was just like, I'd seen that in a demo one time at, like, a game store, because they had shown it off or whatever, and I was just, like, blown away, and I wanted to do that. So, you know, here we are, and yeah, that's basically what it is. I don't want this thing to collide at all. Doesn't have anything but a timer and a kill function. Kill self. Destroy. Okay, so this definitely is not a particle system. This is just to give me a little feedback, but it should give me a little sphere. Pow, 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 pow. Alright, cool. So that's how we know we hit something. Cool. And it's working. Enemies taking damage. Whoa. I need to fix that. That's the camera doing a collision check, which I do not need. Let's take care of that right now. Okay, cool. Camera is behaving itself. Sweet. Yeah. That's cool, right? I'm doing it. I'm doing the thing. So this is just very basic prototyping stuff that we're doing. Okay. So, what do I want to do right now? Okay. I'm gonna turn down my music so that I can think. Um. So, I've got some of the basic stuff. Um. I could build out a level. Let's build out a level. There's gonna be like nothing in this. Which is like the way I like it. So we're gonna put a basic cube in here. Actually, let's put some geometry so that we can kind of build. Let's just build. That's what I want to do right now. And we said, let there be light. we're gonna do a dungeon. Did you enjoy the PS5 hardware announcement back in the day? What's that guy's name? Something, Mark Cerny. Yeah, Mark Cerny's my dude. I like that guy. I could listen to that guy talk for hours, even though nobody like can really understand him. Like I'm like 100% with Mark Cerny. Just a hella nerding out on whatever the hell he's saying. Um, but that dude knows his hardware and architecture. And yeah, I was like all in on that. Um, this generation kind of got a little cut short. Like these consoles are capable of a lot, and I don't think we're even getting like the most we could possibly get out of them at this point. And so I think uh, they still got a little juice if they really wanted to support them. Like the PS5 is about to get an upgrade, and that's cool. Um, so we'll see where that goes. Alright, sweet. There's my cube. So now I have a height fog in here. Let's just throw in a sky sphere. Get a little atmosphere in here. And we're gonna... That's good. There we go, the distance opacity. We're just gonna... We're just gonna say this is north. Yeah, the Pro was going to happen. It's not like it's gonna be too big of a secret. And like everybody kind of saw the writing on the wall. I just wish they would have waited maybe a tad bit longer. You know, I don't know. We're gonna... What are we gonna do? Here we go. Nothing too crazy. Are you excited for the PS5 Pro? Are you excited for a potential Xbox successor? What are you excited for? Here we go. I like how that feels. Not too much. No, that's good. Maybe maybe 4 will look a little better. Yeah, alright. I like 4. Oh, but it's off the ground now, I think. Yeah. Still, though, I think 4. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's better. I like it. Okay. Okay. Uh, let's see. Let's cut this down by half. Yeah, that's already pretty huge. I always do this. Alright. So, I'm messing with like the room sizes. Uh, Something that's like a reasonable amount to like walk around in. Um, I don't want to like make people just like run around and like, you know what I mean? Like it seems like every time like I always like fight with room size. So we're gonna keep this going the way it is. Um, just the size of these walls. So we're gonna do this. So these ones don't necessarily have to be that high. So yeah, so that's a little more reasonable. I can still do like a sword swipe. I think I'm gonna halt input until the sword swipe is done. That way, you can't just like, cause this feels kind of awkward being able to just run around and do this. So you have to stop, swipe, um, and that way that adds to kind of the game feel a little bit. So. Oh my god. Honestly, this is different from the way I would normally prototype something. So, it's a bit of a different workflow for me. already breaking my own conventions that I just made up. But it's okay though. Alright. So, what am I thinking? This is a bit of a long way around just to get to this point. And there's a door here. But I guess you wouldn't know that if you were just traveling through. But I'm gonna make this a little less. We're gonna do 10. So here's a design thing, right? Like, these two door sizes are two different sizes. Um, and I'm kind of going by the tiles here. Which is like 1 in Unreal units. So this one's 3 tiles wide, this one's 4. 4 seems kind of wide. 3, I like the how tight this feels, but it's not too crazy. So, I'm gonna see. Let's see. So 11. So what does 13 get me? No, 13's a little too much. So what are we at? Okay, 12. 12 gets me the 3 tile size on that side, so gotta be consistent. That's the goal here. I'm just throwing out attacks like they matter. Okay. This one's a little wide, so I'm gonna adjust this down. and I'm trying to keep them round numbers so they kind of adhere to the size. But also, the door rules still apply. Um, there's no real rhyme or reason why these are getting placed. I didn't do a top down like I normally would, like a drawing. This is just kind of off the cuff. So, and then we're gonna make our own stuff and fill it with our own stuff, and uh, it'll be really cool. It'll be collectibles and all that stuff. And then some areas hopefully will have a distinguished look. Um, but as of right now, everything is gonna be up in the air and flowing the way it does for reasons that we'll explain later. um, gonna just kind of make up a random story. Uh, these aren't aligned. I'm going to... There we go. That's one of those things you can get a little OCD with, is like just perfectly aligning everything. But again, just trying to adhere to the standards that I'm setting. Sometimes they don't always work. Like this. I'm not going to worry too much about that, but yeah, they're not super aligned to the grid, and that's okay. I'm not even gonna worry about that. I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm more trying to reassure myself that I'm not gonna worry about it, even though like it's gonna come back to haunt me later. I know it is. I've got a little bit of this built out. What I'm going to do is make an item. Or a breakable, I should say. Gonna save that. A breakable. BP destructible. And I'm just going to do something random. The 8-bit seal. Hey yo, how you doing, bud? Welcome to the stream. We're making a top-down game, adventure game, kind of in the vein of The Legend of Zelda. I'm gonna see how far I get. It's 10:44. It's getting close to my bedtime, but this is gonna be an ongoing thing. So, either way, how are you doing tonight? I hope your night is going well. Mine's going pretty good. Are you doing anything cool, 8-bit seal? Anything Anything game dev related, anything not game dev related. Or just anything interesting, honestly. Sweet. Nothing's alright. Unreal Engine is still a pretty hot engine to learn. Well, welcome to the stream. I'm glad that the keywords are working. Uh, this is gonna be really prototypey. So, um, right now I'm trying to create a destructible object, and we're gonna see how this goes. I think this should be pretty straightforward. Box collider. So I am gonna round these extents off. This thing just needs to take a hit. Yeah, that'll do. What is it, 50? And we'll round this to 86. There we go. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the collision off of these for... actually, we're just going to block the pawn. That's what we'll do. That way, it'll just exist and it'll have blocking and all that. How's the game going so far? This is actually going pretty straightforward. Nothing has gotten in my way so far. Everything's been pretty streamlined. Like, oh sweet, it already has collision, so I can already kind of damage this thing, which is cool. As it is an actor as well. So yeah, everything's going pretty straightforward. This game type isn't really too difficult when you think about like all the mechanics that are involved. It gets a little crazy once you start thinking about the amount of actors and the amount of damage types. That's when it gets a little interesting. I'm gonna, I don't know, I don't think it's gonna be this stream, but in the next stream, I think I'm gonna use the modeling tools to make some interesting shapes for the levels, the environments, and whatnot. I'm gonna try to model like a sword and shield for the character. Now, I'm not gonna use their mannequin character. They have a free character that you can download called Bungee Man, and I don't know if it's an Epic Games character, but it's free. I think it is. And he already has like a character rig, like for the control rig that they added, and I'm gonna use that. Pardon me, real quick. But yeah, so I'm gonna animate him too because he's using the control rig. So yeah, that's kind of my plans. I'm actually super glad that this already has damage collision. I wasn't planning on that. I thought I would have to manually do that, but that's cool. So, um, thanks. My goal is to uh be a little more consistent because like honestly I post game dev videos, I stream. There's no like coherent like my other videos I'm showcasing game maker, um and like I'm trying to show the process of like developing the game, doing QA on the game with like Jira. um but then I also do this stuff. I also stream. So there's a lot of stuff. I'm trying to like find a good like schedule to like put all this stuff in because I would like to be consistent with all this stuff. I feel like there's a lot of stuff like knowledge I can drop. I'm not like the most knowledgeable person with this stuff, but it's something I love to do. So, uh, you know, I appreciate your support. I appreciate that you even came on here to watch me. Uh, I'm just out here trying. I'm just out here trying. Um, I need to. Uh, Let me get a reference to slash damage. Thank you. I appreciate it. Like I said, your support's pretty cool. I'm just gonna try to make video games on the internet. Honestly, that's all I want. I'm making a video game on my own time. That's gonna I'm gonna try to make that work too. But these kinds of streams where I just make like a game like a familiar game type um don't seem too bad. Like everything's moving forward, and that's just because I kind of have a plan and I know what I'm gonna do in my head. Well, not my like I shouldn't say just in my head. I do have uh, an obsidian planner that I was doing. Um, so yeah, so like I have obsidian and like I downloaded some references for Zelda. Um, And then I did a blueprint reference. Oh, this is the push actor. I'm gonna have to implement that at some point too to see how that works. I'm gonna have to use tick. I'm trying not to use tick. Tick is bad. Um, but I'm gonna see. Quiet heavy. um, yeah, it's I'll make some kind of game. I'll get there. I'll get there. Uh, get actor. Get actor of class. This is. I'm gonna brute force this and just say strike damage. I already forgot what I was naming this, so wait a minute. Can I just reference that here? Yes, I can. Alright, look. I know what I'm doing sometimes. Sometimes, not all the time. But I figure it out. Look, I do alright. I do alright. Alright, if that's equal to strike damage, we're going to destroy. So, this was quick and dirty. Let's see if it goes away. It does not. Why is that? That's because, again, Unreal has got me. They've already figured out. Like, they already got an event type for damage. I was doing it the hard way. See, alright, look. This is... Bam. It's destroyed. They got me. They got me. Alright. It is. And it's part of my learning process of like of doing these exercises where I just make game types and stuff. But I know, like I'm going to need a team. I've been trying to put a team together, like Avengers style. You know, I'll get there. It'll happen. Um, it'll happen. Okay, so first off, before we get too insane, like I don't need this sphere anymore. I think these things need to they need to look just a tad different. I'm just gonna say the destructible color is something like of a blue. Let's let's do that. Color this destructible material instance, and we are going color everything blue. Yeah, 8-Bit Seal, thank you for joining the stream. I appreciate you viewing any of this, and I also need to learn to code myself. So, uh, you get your code on. You have a good weekend, and hopefully I'll see you next stream. Okay, cool. These things. So my whole idea for these things is eventually these are going to drop stuff, and I'm just going to randomly place these in places where they're just kind of asking to get hit. Bam. Sweet. So yeah, you can just kind of run around and destroy these things, which is really cool. Now the hit thing does do damage, and if I really wanted to, I could make it so that the destructibles take, like, they have a life, um, or like a health meter of some sort. Um, so yeah, you could do you I could do something where it's like some destructibles require 2 hits. 2 hits. Yeah. um, yeah, we'll see where that goes. I am probably going to have to fix some of these alignments for the grid, but yeah, accuracy and all that. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see where it goes. All right. All right. I'm gonna make a brand new floor. Uh, make it kind of like a brown or something. And then I'll do, let's see, grid color. Do something like that. Don't need it to be anything crazy, but just something to kind of offset the gray here. There we go. All right, this is kind of starting to look like something, you know. Um, there are no enemies. The enemies don't move just yet. Um, so here's what I'm looking at here. So this is like from straight up OG Zelda, right? So these enemies don't really chase or anything. They have like patterns, right? They like go move left to right, forwards, backwards in kind of a like a offset pattern or whatever. And um it's like it's an easier solution, and I think that's what I'm gonna kind of go with, just to kind of stick with the theme. I don't really want to do like a chase and kill type of AI. For one, I'll have to get into the AI system. That might add some time, more time to this than I really want. What I want is just make like a challenging kind of gauntlet-esque level where you just run through and find stuff and destroy destructible items, kill some enemies, right? Collect some items. All of that stuff um, is absolutely doable, right? Like it's in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't it won't take that much time. So anyway, um, that's kind of I'm gonna stick with the classic Zelda-esque type of thing. So um, very long-winded way of saying that, and probably an easier way. Uh, I know Obsidian, there is an update available. So yeah, so right now I've got a bit of a level going. I've got some mechanics for my player. They can dish out some generic damage. And then I got some destructibles. So um, I'm not gonna do any enemy AI right now, but I am gonna place some enemies here just to be a little spicy. So right now, like there are 3 here, and like there's one in each room. That would make this particular hallway like the most challenging part of this level. Um, and I'm fine with that actually, to be quite honest. I'm just gonna duplicate them. They're not gonna do anything. They're not even gonna move. Um, Looking at it now, that might be a lot of enemies, especially for the ones that I have in mind. Um, they don't even die yet, so yeah, this is looking like a pretty decent prototype so far. Um, these destructibles work. The enemies can take damage. Um, so it works that way toward me, or for me, it works that way. I gotta make give the enemy an ability to dish out damage as well, and test that out. Um, Let me see if I can do that. Did I? Yep, I did. Okay, cool. So, okay. Whoops. Every 5 seconds, let's say. Um, because it's a child. It will spawn the damage. So let's see. Did I even hook that up? I did. So let's see. Every I called it damages, which is a typo. There we go. So now they're like just throwing out a hit. So let's see. Okay, cool. So it can hit me. Sweet. So damage works, and they've got a the damage sphere works both ways. So I'm gonna see if I can. Well, nah. Damage is damage, right? Um, Maybe like it'll look better if the sphere is a little smaller. I want to say. Um, but yeah, I mean, all I mainly have to do is make them kind of move around in some patterns. I do want to adjust the strike damage so that you can set it to be a projectile or a static like hit, depending on uh what kind of attack you're doing. So like if it's like an arrow or a fireball or a sword or a dagger or what have you, I want it to behave a little differently. So um but yeah, so we got destructibles. I can do damage, right? The enemy can damage me. I've got my level going, so I want to say I'm pretty proud of how far I got tonight. So that'll be stream one, and then next stream we're going to continue with this. I'm hopefully like I'll get the enemies moving. I'm gonna import a few of the free packs. So Epic has a free visual effects pack, uh, and then they have the Bungee Man asset, and then they also let's see, it was visual effects, Bungee Man. I think maybe in one other free pack I was going to use, but either way, I'm going to do some modeling with the modeling tools in the next stream to give it to make things a little more pretty, and just kind of do some custom modeling. Um, since I've already got the functionality there, hopefully then I'll be able to just add things, and they should still work the way that we've set it up here. And then I should be able to also animate Bungee Man. I'm gonna model my own sword and shield for my characters, and then the enemy pack. The enemies are gonna use this free dragons enemy pack. They're kind of cartoony looking enemies. You'll see. But if you go on the Epic Store, the Epic Game, not the Epic Game Store, just the Unreal Engine Store, go to the free assets and you'll see them. They're these little cartoony dragons. I'm gonna use those for the enemies. So, anyway, it's gonna be a fun time. But I'm already happy with how this is turning out. So, uh, for everybody that joined me tonight, I appreciate all of y'all. I honestly 14 views. Wasn't even expecting to. So that's great. But everybody have a great night. Enjoy your weekend. Hopefully the stream goes up tomorrow. If not, I'm gonna go for it sometime during the rest of this week. And just try to keep this train going. So anyway, you guys take care. Have a good one.